Hey, what's up, Albuquerque? Thanks for tuning in for another New Mexico Flag interview series, episode 5. Today we got two special guests, father-son duo. Both are huge playmakers in the league. We got Jeremiah Sanchez and Phillip Sanchez. We're gonna hear their journey and just kind of hear what they think about the league so far.
Hey everybody,
Hey, what's going on, guys?
how's it
So
going?
Good, man. So I want to appreciate. I want to first kind of thank you guys for coming on the show. I mean, you guys been with the league since pretty much day one. I think going back to our Halloween, was it our Halloween tournament or
yeah,
tur-
yeah, the Halloween one.
okay. So you've been pretty much here for a whole year
Yeah,
since we've been around. So I've been wanting to kind of hear your guys' story. I mean, Jeremiah, you're a baller, linebacker, receiver, making plays on both sides of the ball. And then you got your pops over there, you know, QB1, veteran out there making big time plays as well. But how I kind of wanted to start off is just kind of hearing you guys' story individually, and then we'll come together, talk a little bit about you guys playing together as a father and son, and then we'll kind of talk a little bit about the league. But go ahead, Jeremiah, tell us about your story.
um, well, I've only been here 18 years, so I don't really have like that much. But I've been playing football a long time, so like since Yaffle and like I've been doing all that. And I got a concussion one time, so my mom told me I couldn't play tackle no more. So I got me and some friends from school, and I started a flag football team. And my dad was the coach for it, so he coached us up. I don't even know for a long time. And then my mom finally let me play Yaffle again, so I played Yaffle for the last couple of years, and then went to high school at Atrisco. But that was when COVID hit, so it was weird that first my freshman season. It was like we had to be in like practice pods, so like it
Dang.
was like 6 kids per one coach. So then we had to like split it up in like different time groups. It was weird. And then we ended up only having 3 games, and one of them got canceled. So there's like a lot that so I didn't really get that first year, but the rest of the years they were cool. I mean, it was kind of back and forth. Like I was switching positions, so like they'd switch me to wide out and then back to slot or play some defense. So I was kind of all over until they kind of really cemented me into like the receiver spot, probably like in my junior year, senior year. And so ever since then, I just been playing that, and they leave me there.
I love it. I love it. You ever play any other sports growing up?
I played some basketball, and that's about it.
Okay.
So, but I never
Track,
really stuck.
you did track
Yeah, I did track for a little bit in high school, but I don't
Okay.
know.
Okay.
and
I love it.
soccer. He played soccer.
Oh man, you're leaving out some of the good ones.
He
Because
played
I only played them
soccer.
for a little bit. I didn't
It
stick
doesn't
with it.
matter.
The two
You
sports
played
I
it.
played and stuck with, I would say basketball and football.
Was football your best sport? Would you say?
Yeah, I would say like that was my number one. That was my go-to. So
So
I that's what I made me choose it in high school.
okay. So Phil, you actually used to coach him, like his flag team.
Yeah. So he came home one day. Actually, it's a funny story because he's the guys playing in the league now are the same kids. So Daniel and so it
Marcus,
was Daniel, Marcus, Sejan,
Trey.
Trey, all those guys. He came home from school one day and he's like, "Hey, Dad, we play flag football outside on the yard, and we were wondering if we could like play like against other people." So I looked around, and at that time there was only like one flag league. Well, two, I think Yaffle had one, and then there was another one that they were saying was competitive. So I said, "Well, let's just do that one," you know. So we signed up. I he signed up with him and his friends, and then when you sign up, we had 5 players. It was 5v5, and then they give you like players that don't have teams or whatever. So we
Okay.
got like 3 other players on there, and that's how we got Malachi. Who else did we get from there? That's how we got Trey. We got Malachi like that. We got so the guys playing in the league now have been playing. I started that. Jeremiah was 8 or
Oh
9.
wow.
Yeah, yeah.
So you guys have been together since what is that, like
Yeah.
fourth grade? Fourth?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then and
wild.
then and then my nephew was playing too. So my wife's a twin, and so her son, my nephew, he played, but he's a senior now, so he plays baseball.
Okay.
So he doesn't have a lot of time, but when he does, he plays. But it was him too. So it was Jeremiah, my nephew, Marcus, Daniel, Sejan, Trey, Malachi, all the guys still there. Um, and then they went on to play it, and like, dude, there was no learning curve. Like they got on the field, and it was like they were like that much better than everybody else, which was cool to see. And then it was just pretty much like fine tuning them. You know what I mean? But so since they were 8 and 9, they've been playing together all the way up till till they got to freshman year, and then they all went to like different schools, and
Oh,
then
okay, okay,
but they still played summer flag because I still coach summer flag, so they played it up to like about 16, probably 16 years old.
okay.
But the cool thing about it is that they still hang out. You know, that was cool. Like they started since they were 8, and like when I was coaching them, I always told them it was bigger than football, you know, kind of like what you're doing now in your league. So it's bigger than football, right? So football is just an outlet for
Right.
you to like meet other people and be like kind of give everyone something to do, like family oriented, right? Which I had always taught the kids, like, you're not getting paid for this, I'm not getting paid, no one's getting paid for this, so you just want to, have make sure everyone's like treat each other like family. So that, and that's cool to see that you have that, because that's what I had a quote. I had taught the kids, right? I said it's bigger than football. Like 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, 10 years. Who would have thought 10 years from now they're still like hanging out? Like
Right.
Sejan and all those guys are still hanging out. So that's cool to see.
That's awesome, man. And I feel like you guys starting at such a young age, like that's a different type of friendship,
Yeah,
that's like that's a family,
yeah,
um, and that's one thing that I've always noticed with Gimesum, with Team Gimesum, is the culture that you guys have, and
yeah,
that's what I'm trying to do with the league, is have that family culture, and and encouragement and motivation, and so
yeah,
I love that about Gimesum.
yeah,
So that's
yeah.
awesome.
So
So you guys played Yaffle together. Was it like a Trisco?
Yeah, so when I first started playing, I was playing for a while. That's how I knew Jaden Ortiz, who's in the league too now, and
Okay.
Andres Villalobos, who played in the league a couple seasons ago with us. So I knew those guys, and then when I came back to Yafo, I had played for Volcano East, I think it was, and so then in high school, I met up with these guys that I used to play Yaffa with later on, and then we played our whole season. And then that's when my girl actually found the tag tier Halloween tournament,
Oh,
and
okay.
so we had a game that Friday night, and that was our last game or our senior night game. I can't remember. I think it was our last game of the season,
Oh, wow.
and so I had got just me and like some of my close friends that were on the football team, and then just my friends that I've known and I played with forever, and I just got a little team together. And so that was before like I brought my dad and like Manny. Like I played with Manny at Atrisco too when I was a junior. He's a senior, so I got to know him really well. Marquise too. So I was able to bring some of these guys around. Like we lose some guys and then we get some guys back, and like Trey and Tejan finally can make it now, coming back this season. So it's nice. Like I just kind of reached out to anybody I knew that could probably help us out. You know.
Yeah, and that's one thing I've noticed about Give Me Some is, I mean, you guys are always stacked, and not just stacked with bodies. I mean, stacked with talented athletes. I mean, I was talking to I think it was Trey. He said he don't even play football. He's out there
yeah,
one handing mossing.
yeah, man. And the crazy thing is, he's been like that since we first got him. Like he came and like he goes, yeah, I never played football. I never played football. He played soccer, dude, believe it or not. And he was like his sister, she could have played D1 soccer, but I think she was just like all clubbed out with soccer. She played soccer club in high school. Like she just got tired of it, so she chose not to play. That was her own choice. But she had D1 scholarships and everything. And then Trey ended up being good at soccer. And then the kid's just talented. Like Marquise, Manny, like any of those sports they pick up, they're just gonna dominate it, man. Like
Right.
anything. It's cool to see, and those they're not the only ones, right? Like Doghouse or most hated now. But they got that team's loaded with players, man.
Right, right.
And
And so speaking of Marquise, did he end up going playing college anywhere?
Yeah,
yeah,
he's playing in Eastern.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Greyhounds.
yep, yep.
Okay, okay. Is he playing basketball or football or both or?
Both. He got a scholarship for both.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Okay,
dude.
okay.
Yeah.
You got to definitely keep us updated on his, his career and stuff. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, we text. We always text here and there and catch up and stuff. Sometimes he comes over here. I invite him over and we just chill for a little bit. I see what's up
Okay.
with him, and we're always just keeping in touch.
Any other like players that that went on to play college kind of from your close group?
Um, Not really. No, I think one of our friends was gonna go to New Mexico State. He had got an offer to go there.
Okay.
Our quarterback Dean, but he ended up getting his shoulder torn out when we played Cleveland, and
Hmm.
after that he had to get a couple surgeries on it, and he couldn't. So even now when I bring him, I still try and get him to come out to play, and sometimes he has a hard time staying in the whole game. You know what I mean? He has to he's like I can't go no more. Like his shoulders already gives out on him. I'm like he acts
Yeah.
all old.
He's what, 18, 19?
Yeah, yeah,
you know what though? But there's some players on the team that should be playing ball somewhere
Right.
for sure.
Right. No,
Like
absolutely.
yeah,
I definitely agree.
like I don't know how Manny's not playing ball somewhere.
Right. I mean, I've heard I know he hurt his shoulder, but
yeah.
like even with his shoulder, like I still think he can definitely do it. I mean, and shoot, why not walk on to UNM? Same thing with you, Jeremiah. Like, that's something that I would love to kind of talk to you a little bit more about. So you played at a Trisco. Now you're a student at UNM, correct?
Yeah.
What are you going to school for?
Business.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
What's your vision? What are you kind of looking to do with that business degree?
Uh, Take over my dad's company.
Okay, okay,
he said
okay.
he said he's gonna put me out to pasture, dude. He said there's not enough room for two bulls anymore.
Hey, man, I love that. And so, talking about taking over, tell us a little bit about Gimesum. Where did you guys kind of get that name from? And
So funny story. I grew up. I'm from up north. I'm from Espanola. So well, growing up back there, we didn't have a whole lot of money, so we stayed. My grandma was the only one that had a piece of property with an actual house on it, and then the rest of us, like her kids, ended up getting like mobile home trailers and kind of just putting it on the property and just kind of being real fat. That's where the family kind of thing grew up. We didn't have a whole lot of money, but we just had family in each other. But so I grew up with I'm the oldest out of all the kids, so I grew up with around like my uncles and stuff, and they didn't have jobs or nothing, but they'd be partying all hours of the night. Like every night was a Friday night for them. So they'd be outside hanging out, doing all kinds of adult stuff, and I'd be out there at a small age, and like maybe 6 or 7 or whatever, and I was all tiny, so I'd be pulling at their pant legs, saying, "Give me some." Like they'd be drinking or smoking, I'd be like, "Give me some, give me some." And then they used to say, "Get out of here, give me some," or whatever. So when I started my business in 2008, I always wanted to, like, I always kind of been the person to really not forget where you come from. I'm big on that, right? So doesn't matter how you start the game, and matters how you end it. But as long as you stay true the whole time, just like not forget where you come from. So I wanted to kind of be able to reach out and just kind of always know, like, or remember is to like know where I came from, know where I'm going, and just try to stay humble.
right, right. And for the people that don't know, Give Me Some is actually a HVAC company, correct?
Yeah, it's give me some heating and cooling. Yeah.
Okay, okay. What
So I did that, and I started doing that in 2000. So this year's 24 years, and then I started my own business in 2008 when the economy crashed. Remember? I don't know if you remember that, but
Yeah,
that
yeah.
that was a time where I was kind of a even playing field for everybody. 'Cause, all the big companies, like I mean, big HVAC companies that everyone was kind of down, and so I figured that was the best time to start because everyone was gonna have to start over at that point. So.
Right, right. Okay. And so Jeremiah, you're actually helping him currently, like while you go to school?
Yeah, so What I was do so it was hard for me to help him. So like I do it mainly during the summers when I could work the most, like when I didn't have school, because I'd have school and then after school I'd have practice or whatever. You know what I mean? So I never really had time unless it was through summers. Like every year I'd work with him just during the summer. But now since I was able to graduate in this last May, I just since then I started working with him, and then I chose to do all my stuff online. So I don't go to in person. So I whenever I'm at work, we do work, come home, and then I do some homework online throughout the week, and that's kind of how I manage it.
Okay, I love it. I love it, man. Um, that field is, is thriving. I actually, my wife actually sent me a video, and it says like the next boom of millionaires is going to be in the HVAC and plumbing industry.
Yeah,
So
that's what I heard too.
that's exciting. So that's trade work is where it's at. So
Yeah.
But talking a little bit about your career after high school, now you're at UNM. Have you considered about like walking on or continuing to play football, or is the league enough? Is that feeding your appetite? Or what's your thoughts on that, Jeremiah?
So I've always played football, right, since I was little. And so when I got to high school, I was still cool. Like I still wanted to go play anywhere I could. So like what my mentality was, if anyone offered me, I'd go, right? And so, but towards the end of like my football career, so like towards the end of high school, junior, senior year, my head coach, we didn't really see like eye to eye. So it was just hard for me to like keep that like love for the game. You know what I mean? Like on that level, like for me, my coaches just kind of killed that for me. So it sucks. It sucks. But I mean, I like the idea of like school comes first too. You know what I mean? Like schools, that's where you can get like a future. You know what I mean? So like I like to just think of it as like more important to me is school. So I rather go for schooling to do
Right.
something later on in the future instead of like dedicate my years to football. You know what I mean? And I'm still cool with playing like football in the league. Like I don't know. That's just
Right. No, I mean, I completely feel it. Like as long as you're doing what you love, and I think the big goal is like you're saying is your career.
well like and like looking at it dedicates a lot of time. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like that takes a lot of time. There's not really time for anything else. It's kind of you got to make a choice, right? You got to
Right.
pick one or the other. So I don't know. I decided like my coach would ask me to send film to whatever, but he just wasn't really like a player's coach. You know what I mean? Like it found it hard for a lot of people to like him. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
Exactly.
like I don't want to talk bad about nobody or nothing like that. Just
Yeah.
we didn't really connect. You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard for me to like play for him. You get what I'm saying?
No, yeah, I mean that's big, man. I've been there, and it kind of ties into corporate America. They say a lot of people, the majority of why people quit their jobs is not because they don't like the job, it's because of the manager.
Yeah.
And so that ties
Yeah.
into the coach. You feel me? And
Yeah.
that's happened to me with baseball. It's happened to me a couple of places where in football, so I can completely understand. Woo! You see that? You just mossed him right there, the head top
Yep.
right here.
Yep.
Talk to us about some of these highlights, man. Like what's going on? What teams you playing? What do you see?
So we've always been like on and off team. You know what I mean? Like we've always had athletes. Like as long as I've been there, we've always had like a stacked squad. You know what I mean? But I always feel like we had a bad habit. We couldn't ever like finish games. You know what I mean? Like we'd be good, but the second we go down one touchdown and we're like out of it. You know what I mean? Like everyone gets all discouraged, and then we're like, you know what I mean? So, and I feel like there's a lot of miscommunications with the coaching. Like these guys tell us this, these guys tell us that. So we're honestly just playing like athletes on everybody. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
we made do with what we got, and then we had a hard district. So the last 5 games of the season, we were playing all the top ranked schools like Cleveland, Rancho, and like all these guys. You know what I mean? So that was always a rough stretch. And then by the end of that, we never really seen a chance at playoffs. But We did what we could, and we always got our highlights. Like Manny was always getting highlights. Marquise, you know what I mean? Like all our
Yeah,
guys were still getting highlights. Look at Manny
right.
right there.
Oh. What position did you play in high school again?
Me,
Yeah.
receiver. So they had me. I played some receiver. I played some outside linebacker, and I played some safety. So
Yeah, Coach Connor as your receiver coach?
yeah, Coach Connor. That's where I got him from. He
Yeah.
so he was our counselor. So he's our counselor and our one of our coaches. So I I picked him up for my senior year. I picked him up as a student aide. So I'd go and I'd see him every seventh period. You know what I mean? So we'd just chill when if he had nothing going on. And so I don't remember how it came up one time, but I think one of my other buddies was like, "Hey, that league you're in, Coach Connor joined the team and he's gonna play." And so I went and I told him, I was like, "What the heck? Like you're playing?" And he's all, "Yeah." I was like, "Dude, come play for us. What are you doing?" And so he's like, "You guys play that too?" And I was like, "Yep." So I was able to get him from there too. So we've slowly just kind of been building up the team, you know what I mean, with people that are like can consistently come because we've had a problem a couple seasons ago where we had a decked out roster of all these guys saying that they can make it, say that they can come, but then we're left there with five
Right,
people and the sixth person's coming late, you know what I mean, and we're
right,
dying out
right.
there. We're all playing both ways, and by the end of the game, dude, we're gassed, and
Yeah,
so I decided to after that I was just like I'm just gonna get all these people that I know will show up, you know what I mean? And
right,
then we're just
right.
gonna roll with the guys that we got. So like
Yeah,
Manny, Jaden, all these guys that are in that have consistently been showing up
right.
are just
Your
they're
core.
they're they're for the team, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like those guys are like dedicated to play and show up every Saturday, you know what I mean? So I
Yeah,
think that's good.
absolutely. Yeah, and it's tough. A lot of people don't know. Like it's tough, being a captain of a team, managing a team, like it's I feel for the captains. That's why I try and help them out as much as possible because you're trying to chase down 10 to 20 players, trying to get them all on the same page and stuff. But cool, man. I want to kind of shift gears and talk to your pops about his story. I mean, he's been around a little bit longer, so I'm sure you
Yeah.
can kind of tell us a
That's
little bit
OG
more
right there.
about your childhood, kind of going into high school and after till now.
Yeah. So like I said, I'm from up north. This year I turned 44, so my birthday's from the 1900s and 80s. So um a lot of these kids are from their first two digits are 20, you know what I mean? So yeah, I mean I grew up north. I'm the oldest of four. I played up north football's not really as big as basketball. Basketball is big up there, you know. From Santa Fe on, you can have a all right football team, but you have to have a good basketball team for sure. So I mean, I grew up playing basketball is what I played, and I ran like track and cross country and stuff like that. So I tried to do year round sports because I didn't really want to be at home. So once I left home, I would stay there and practice all the practices, all the sports, and then I would
What
get
school?
around. Espanola High School. Do you know
Okay.
where that is? It's north
Low
of
the
north.
lowrider capital of
Yeah,
the
it's
world.
true. Yeah, that's a true story too. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I did that. I um, just played all 4 years. Back then, you were allowed to play. I think they brought that back, but you're allowed to play varsity in eighth grade. So if you're eighth grader, you didn't have you could skip and you could play varsity if if they needed you or whatever. So, and I
Yeah.
know they had went away from that, and I think that I recently heard that came back for
Yep.
certain sports.
Giselle played varsity for softball as eighth
Yeah,
grader.
yeah. So I mean that was cool. I mean, uh, what else? Yes, we grew up there. It's a small town, where everybody knows what everyone's doing. So, kind of had a. I mean, it's not like you can miss school, whatever, because then someone would see you in town and already knew, where you lived or whatever. But back then, you couldn't call somebody or whatever. You had to either go to their house or dial from those old rotary numbers where it used to be pissed off if people had zeros because you had to take that all the way and the zero. So, I mean, but yeah, I did that, and then first chance that I had to get out, I wanted to get out, right? Like, I grew up there my whole life, so I ended up going to Adams State College in Alamosa, and hung out there, and then that's where I met my wife. I met her there, and then she was from Albuquerque. She went to Manzano, so um, when I found out, she lived out here or whatever, we would come back on the weekends and hang out with her family and stuff, and it just kind of was like so me growing up, Albuquerque was like considered the big city, right? Like so like whenever my parents or would get their income tax or whatever, they were like, oh, we're gonna go on vacation, and vacation was going to Albuquerque to watch the Albuquerque Dukes. At the time they were the Dukes, right? Our vacation would be like coming up, getting a hotel, and going to the Dukes game and getting some pizza and eating it by the pool, acting like we were all bad. But that was all we had at the time. Um, so I ended up liking Albuquerque. So when my wife was found out she was from here, I found out when she's from here. I came out here, and then we decided that we would just leave Alamosa and be out here in Albuquerque. So that was probably in what night I met her in 1998. So probably right away in '99 is when we moved out to Albuquerque and kind of got a little studio apartment. And she was going to school full time and working full time. I'm sure, like there's a lot. Probably most of the people in the league can vouch for that. They have a wife or a girlfriend who's multitasking, right? Like they're taking care of kids and they're going to school full time and they're working full time, and like those are the hardest workers, behind the
Yeah.
scenes. But anyways, she yeah, we just moved out here and she went to school, and I've never really been a school person, so I said, oh, I'll just work, right? I work, try to make as much money as I can, and then she went to school, and we just kind of made it, a little bit at a time. Um, every year got better and better, and then so this much time later, you were able to do more things than we were able to do when before Jeremiah, and then like when he was smaller.
Right. Right.
But yeah, I mean, I love it. Like I still tell people I'm from Espanola, right? But I mean, I've been living in Albuquerque longer than I lived in Espanola. But I mean, like I said, I have my family still lives up there. My uncles, my mom, um,
I
and then
love it.
just me being busy with my business, and then I'm also in the fire department, so I'm burning the candle at both ends. So I don't really have time to go home much to see them. But I mean, everyone that knows me, as long as they have known me, it will know like I've never changed. I've been the same person since back then. So, so
I love it. And you also coach youth flag football too, right?
yeah, yeah. So I coached Jeremiah. That was the first inaugural time, and then I mean they. I wish you could have seen these kids back then, man. I want to say they ran off maybe. I think the count I remember was like 103 games without a loss. They went 103 games without a loss, and then they lost, right? And then they started another streak right away again. So the team started getting bigger, right? Like we started getting more players. Like they wanted to come play with this good team or whatever, and so we ended up going from 5 players to 10 players to 15 players to 20 players, and that's too much for a 5-on-5 team. So I ended up
Mhm.
splitting them up by ages, right? So I kept the older kids with the older kids and moved the younger kids down, and kind of kept them together, and then they created their own winning streak. So it just kept going. So long story short, I coached Jeremiah every year as he went up, and then some younger players down below him. And then when they left, I never popped smoke and left either. I just kind of coached other people's kids, and I just kept doing it, and I'm still doing that now. So I have probably 40 kids, maybe 50 kids. I got a 10U team, a 12U team, a 14U team, and a 16U team. So
That's awesome. That's
yeah,
incredible.
yeah,
And we were at Mariposa one of our alternate weeks, and I
yeah,
remember we saw a team with "Give Me Some" shirts on, and
yeah.
everything was all tripping
Well,
out. I was
so
like,
so it's so it's the Give Me Some logo, but I gave them the name Legends. So they're
oh, "Okay,
actually it's the same logo, except ours say Give Me Some and theirs say Legends. And I always just tell them, like I want them to be legends, because like I mean, well, not just them. A lot of kids, like a lot of these kids are homegrown. We don't get a whole lot of kids like from out of state. Most of these kids are homegrown. And it's cool to see the talent that we have of the kids that are homegrown. So I told them,
Right.
just be legendary, like be legends in your own, of your own. You know what I mean? Be
Yeah,
your
I
own
love that.
legends. So
I
so
love
they got the name Duke City Legends. So that's them.
Duke City. I love
Yeah.
it. I love it. Okay. So I want to ask you a couple questions kind of about your journey so far. Espanola. I've heard some rough things about Espanola.
Yeah.
Is it true? Is it,
Yeah.
like, is
It's
it?
It's true. Well, it's true, but it's also not true. Like most of the stuff you heard is true. There's a lot of drugs, a lot of riffraff, gang, stuff like that. Low riders for sure, but I mean, not
Okay.
everyone, not everyone's bad, and not every, you know what I mean. Everyone that
Yeah,
has a
yeah,
low rider, not everyone's, they're not all bad, right? It's
right.
just like anywhere else. You have good parts, bad parts, all that. But you know, everyone's always Espinol's always the butt end of a joke of somehow, right? Like
Right,
one of
right.
the one of the most popular ones is like, why do everyone in Espanola have a small little steering wheel, a small little chain steering wheel, and then the catch answers because so they could drive with handcuffs on, right? So that's an old one, but stuff like that, jokes like that, right? But being in this business, doing HVAC, believe it or not, I've met a lot of people from Espanola, like either younger than me or older than me, and they're successful. Like I've met some doctors, some lawyers, met some, couple professors, writers, you name it, they're all over, and they came from Espanola, right? And
Do you think
so,
kind of growing up in that, in that environment, like kind of helped you become the man you are?
yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, I don't know, Espanola's not the only town like that. Like Santa Fe, you got Santa Fe, you got like Penasco and Trauma and all those places up there. You have a lot of things where things are how do you say, like habit, right? Like
Yeah.
your dad's dad did it, so your dad did it, so you're gonna do it. It's kind of
Right,
like the
right,
same
right.
thing, and
That
there's not
passed
really a
on.
cycle that gets broken. And then you have people who do break that cycle, right? They come outside and they live outside. They're on the outside looking in, and it's a different view when you're on the outside looking in. When you're on the inside looking out, you don't really see, right? But when you actually on the outside looking in, you see. It's like I have a lot of friends and stuff that I know from back then that were doing the exact same thing that they're doing right now, just older. You know what I mean? Like they're
Right,
just older now, but like clockwork, they're doing the exact same thing they were doing when I left back in, '98.
right, right. Okay, okay. And then as for Adam State, I actually had a full ride for wrestling there.
Did you?
Did
Yeah,
you
that's a big wrestling school for sure. Yeah.
yeah. Did you play any sports there? Or?
No, I was gonna play basketball, and then run
Oh,
cross
you're a
country.
hooper. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I play. I play basketball.
Okay.
But they yeah, I ended up going there, and then like I said, I wasn't really a school person, which is the reason why now, like when Jeremiah was little, I always taught him because no one really taught me. I just wanted to go play sports. I did just good enough to make GPA to play. And to me, I was going to school to play sports and learn secondary when that's not how it played, right? So I taught him like you go to school to learn and you play basketball while you're learning, or play football while you're learning. I mean, those sports are to do something to do while you're learning. I did it the other way. you know I went to play sports, and I was like, I'll go to school, I guess, while I'm playing sports. So
Right, right.
it wasn't for me, but I wanted to break that chain for him and all the other kids that I coach. I always tell them, that school comes first and then sports
What'd you go
comes
to school for?
when I first went in, I was going in for like architecture,
Nice.
but like I said, I've never been a school person, so
Okay, okay. Well, cool, man. That's an awesome story. I mean, you can definitely it makes sense on why you are who you are.
yeah.
That's awesome. I kind of want to shift gears into kind of talking a little bit about the league.
Okay.
Um, what Jeremiah, what was your, a year ago, almost to the exact date, when you first came out, like what was your kind of your first impression coming to the league, and you know, and also, I mean, even the players on your team as well, like what was kind of like the feedback and
Well, since we first got in, we've always liked it, like since the start, just because there's not really a place like I'm sure all these guys like to play football, you know what I mean? But for me, I feel like a lot of it was like my buddies too that I know that love to play football, but don't play it now or don't play it no more or whatever. So I just thought that they might like to come out and play it again. And I wasn't expecting like a full season or nothing. I was just expecting a tournament, you know what I mean? So I was like, sure, we'll just do it and see what happens. And that's the one that we started like early, early. It was still dark when we were playing the game in the morning. You remember that?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and so we were getting there, and they're like, we're actually playing it this early, so everyone was all mad because we had to be there all early. But at the end of the day, everyone liked it, and they were like, yeah, that was fun. Well, we said later, and they're like, let me know in the next one, and they're like, I'll be there. And so then since then, we had the Thanksgiving tournament, we played that. A few different guys there. Then we had the Christmas one, played that. So we had a couple guys there. You know what I mean? Some guys came back, some guys left. Got some new guys if we were short some guys. So and then you started the season, and then so I was like, okay, yeah, that'd be cool. Ask the same guys from the tournament, and like I don't ever pick, you know what I mean? I text the team. I'm like, yo, like, do you guys want to do this? Yes or no? And then depending on like the majority, people be like, yeah, like I'm down, or no, I'm busy, or whatever. And then if people are down, I'll start a team and then find some more guys, you know what I mean, just to fill it. But everyone's always been down to keep doing it and keep going. Like every season, I ask, like, you guys still down? And they're like, yeah. And so we just keep going till they don't want to go no more. I guess keep riding till the wheels fall off.
Hey, at least until you get a ring, you know.
Yeah, at least we gotta get that.
You know. So speaking of the league, do you have any like favorite, players in the league that that can kind of pop in up in your mind?
I do like Cole. That dude is nice.
He is nice.
And Chrissy from Most Hated.
Okay.
And Kyle, my boy Kyle.
Kyle
Kyle from
from
Public Enemy.
Public. Yeah, yeah.
That's my guy.
Okay.
What about D Smoke, Jeremiah?
D Smoke. D Smoke.
Oh, Devin.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Hey,
I like everybody, bro. I don't hate on nobody. I like everybody in the league. I don't got no problems with nobody.
I love it. I love it.
There's a lot of guys I like out there. Junior, I can name a lot of guys. You know what I mean? Like there's nobody in the league that I could say I don't like. You know what I mean?
I
So
love it, man.
I like
Who's your
everybody. Everyone's
who's
a good
your
sport.
favorite NFL team?
The Jaguars.
Jaguars. Okay.
Yeah.
Different. Okay. What about you?
Me? Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the Jags too, but I think that's why you like.
Jags.
He was a Jags fan first, and I just
Yeah,
followed him.
in '94.
Okay. Okay. What made you guys be Jags fans? That's pretty unique.
Yeah, so my mom and my grandma used to do our school clothes shopping at
Mhm.
garage sales. And so Los Alamos, because they have the labs out there. There's a lot of houses, nice houses that they get like cool stuff, and then they throw away stuff that one man's trash is another man's treasure. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So she would find all kinds of cool stuff and bring it home, and she literally brought home a Jaguars pullover. It still had the tag and everything on it. It was like around Christmas time, I want to say. Brought it. Um, she brought it, and it had the price tag and everything. So somebody in Los Alamos was pissed off that they got a Jaguars shirt for Christmas or pullover, and they got rid of it. My grandma's picked it up for like $2 or $3, and then brought it home. And I was like, "Oh, this is a pretty cool team." Cause like, I like the colors, and they're a new team. They probably don't have any fans. You know what I mean? So I was like, "Yeah, I'm cool with it." Plus, I got tired of everyone in the family cheering for the Cowboys because all our family are Cowboy fans.
Okay. Okay. I love that story. I don't even know why I became a Broncos fan.
Nope.
I think it was because my nickname in high school was Champ.
Champ.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
Champ Bailey.
yeah, and I
Nice.
was in love with Champ Bailey and and Elway and Terrell Davis during that era. I think I just jumped
Yeah,
on the bandwagon.
yeah, they
Um,
were a good team.
so I got a question for Jeremiah. Jeremiah, what's a favorite thing about playing with your pops?
Uh, for me, we used to be me and the same guys that are still playing. My dad used to play with him and like Tony and like some of his other buddies, they used to play in like the league that they used to play right across from the zoo and like over there in Rio Rancho, and they used to play that league. So me and my buddies would run around and we play like tackle football on the side, and so I always wanted to play in that league with him. Like I just thought that was cool, you know what I mean? And then after COVID, they never ended up starting that league back up. So then I was finally old enough to play with them, and I couldn't, you know what I mean? So then yours started. I thought it was cool, and I tried actually getting him to play, and he didn't want to. He's like, "Nah, I'm retired. I'm retired. I don't do that no more."
That's
And
true. I
I'm
will.
like, retired? What are you talking about? And so finally, we couldn't get a quarterback. So I told him, I was like, there's literally nobody else. Like, you got to come. He's like, all right, I'll play just to bail you guys out. And since that game on, everyone loves him, and he's been the starter since then.
Hey, I love that.
I
And that's
know.
awesome to say that too, because I've noticed you've brought a few quarterbacks out there, and it's not easy to play quarterback in our league,
It's not
and
for
and I
sure.
feel like you've given all the quarterbacks that's come out there a fair shot to win the job. And I think at the end of the day, Pops has always been, like
Yeah.
the best so far,
Yeah,
so
for sure.
that's
Until,
awesome.
yeah.
Um,
So
I got another question. I got a question for Phil.
Yeah.
So after years of paying for sports equipment and tournaments for Jeremiah, how does it feel to finally be able to play beside your son?
It's an awesome feeling, man. I mean, it's cool because I got to see him playing since he was little, all the way when he got older, and I kind of was always a hands off kind of a parent. Like I would tell him stuff, here and there, but most of the times I wouldn't overstep my boundaries. I wouldn't be like, I'm not that guy to tell the coach stuff. I just said, do what your coach tells you and show him what you could do. If he doesn't see it, at least work harder the next time, whatever. But it's been awesome to see, like, so over the years, I've been saying, the coaches and everyone else is, oh, Jeremiah, you played awesome. And I'm always the bad guy, right? I'm like, yeah, but what about that missed block? Or what about this? What about that? So I've always been the what about guy, right? And it's funny, nice to be able to play next to him and tell him, you know what, bro, you've been playing good ball for years now. I couldn't really admit that because that's everyone else's job, right? Oh, you're so good, or you did this to that, and I'm always the but this, but that, but that. So I think Jeremiah for the longest time didn't think I was a fan of his, but I've always been a fan of his, and I just
Right.
didn't want to be the guy to tell him like, he's been playing good ball for a long time. But so it's also nice to not have to worry about that and just know like he's a good player. He's playing along other good players that are just as good as him, and and then they in the league, right? Like so like they play against each other and they know each other's speed and but then they go up against like grown men. It's different, right? It's different
Right.
when
Right.
when a grown man can take you off the line like in the first 5 yards or whatever, right? As that
Right. Right.
the dad strength, right, is different
Right.
than what they're used to, and they're getting used to it, right? So they're getting used to it. But
Right.
it's been awesome. Like I think that would be every dad's dream, right? To be able to play next to their son in any sport, whatever sport that they wanted to play. Like if it
Right.
wasn't football and let's say he liked golf or tennis, then I'd learn how to play tennis real pretty quick, right? Just for the chance to play with him.
You know what? You guys are kind of like, and I'm not even gonna say like Bronny and LeBron. You guys, I'm gonna do you guys even better. You guys are like Ken Griffey and
Oh
his son.
yeah, the
So I put some
Grizzlies.
respect on you guys when it comes to that. But that is huge. I mean, as you see with Bronny and LeBron, playing like that is a dream,
Yeah.
and I hope that that's something that I'll be able to experience one day. And if not, I mean, I'm a girl dad. You feel me?
Yep.
I'll have my daughter on my flag football team. Like you
Yeah.
guys have seen it,
And
to
not only that, but you probably pick up softball just to play with her. Like if she, you know
oh,
what I mean?
absolutely.
Yeah. If she said, "Hey, Dad, I'm playing in a co-ed team
Oh,
and we need some players," like you won't even think twice. Like I'm in.
in a heartbeat, in a
Yeah.
heartbeat.
Of
Yep,
course.
exactly. But I definitely agree with, kind of being their hardest critics, when it comes
Yep.
to the game. And because we want them to be the best that they can. So I'm watching her game and trying to find like areas of opportunity,
Yeah.
from the start of the game, during the game, to after the game, to like so. But at the same time, like we are their biggest fans, so it's hard to to remind them that we are. You feel me?
Yeah.
Um, cool.
Yeah.
we got a little bit more time. Talking about the league. Who are your top 3 receivers, top 3 DBs, and top 3 quarterbacks? And don't pick your own team. I mean, we already know, we got some big time playmakers for Gimesum, but I want to kind of hear it when it comes to the league. We'll go ahead and start with Phil.
So I've been around a long time. Like I played in the Rio Rancho League back when it was not like it is now. It was like 8-on-8 full contact. It was better. So I go way back with Corbin. So me and Corbin are go way back. So I've always had respect for his game. We played City League when it was down by the zoo, and there was some good competition there. But your league has been has the best competition. You got like semi-pro players, you got a lot of D1 players, of all ages, right? Like young all the way, even older cats like myself that could still sling it, even like you. There's a lot of good players. So I'd say top 3 in no particular order, right? So it's not better.
Yeah, no, we'll just go.
I'm gonna go with Corbin. I'm gonna go with Isaac. I mean, he's a great player. Um, and probably Junior. I mean,
Okay.
because he's deceptively good, right? Um, and then I don't know who are your quarterbacks, Jeremiah.
I was gonna say Junior too. I like that. He's nice, dude.
Right,
And
right.
Isaac from Most Hated. And then I was gonna say that guy from the Kings. He is nice. And we got a
Oh,
chance to play
Chapman.
against him a couple times this last season when they were in D2. So we
Yeah,
got to be able to look at it like firsthand and play against him. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
he's a hard dude to cover. Like we could throw a lot of stuff at him. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, he can make
he
all the
fits.
throws.
He fits in
right.
some
He can
tight
make every throw.
spaces. We have a picture of him throwing a slim, and it's between the hands of 3 guys, and like all 3 of them are right there. You know what I mean? He still
Right.
gets it in right where he's got to go. So
All right, check this out. You guys are Jerry Jones. You got to rock with your franchise quarterback and in flag. Who are you rocking with?
Oh man, that's tough. Uh, well, the the you got to go if we're gonna go off of like your history from season 1 to season now. Most hated has won the most, right? So um, I guess I'm gonna have to go with Isaac for the fact that he has a cannon. He could probably throw a goal line to goal line. And when you have players who can just run underneath it, I mean,
Right,
their catch radius is insane. So if you just
right.
put it anywhere in that area, so I would say I'd go with him, I guess.
But Isaac. Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Jeremiah?
Nothing against anybody else. Nothing against
Yeah, I mean that's a
anybody
tough
else.
question.
Yeah,
That's
it
tough.
is. There's some great QBs, and I'm not familiar with everybody, right? Like you keep getting new guys coming in. Like there's more new guys even this season who I seen playing. I'm like, dang, who is that? That guy's good, you know. And
Yeah.
then like, I mean, you're a great player. Like you take that player out of the out of the equation, and the team is not the same. Like,
Right, right.
there's some team, and that quarterback's good. And I'm sorry that I don't know all their names and I'm not familiar with them, but there's some great quarterback. But I mean, out of if you put stats first, they won the most. Isaac and them won the most. So
Right, right. What about you, Jeremiah?
I don't want to copy, but I gotta have to agree. I think it's close between him and Junior. I do like Junior's game a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
he like there's sometimes they only got 4 guys there, and he could still make do with what he's got. You know what I mean? And he's always
Yeah.
like, even when we're up 2 touchdowns on him, and he's always in the game. You know what I mean? Like he's always like they're never out of it. Like I've
No.
known there's time, and every time we play him, it's down to the wire. We always have a good game, but there's sometimes we play him with 6 guys, and there's sometimes we play him with their 10 guys. You know what I mean? And both
Mhm.
times we play him, no matter how much guys they got, he always makes it work. You know what I mean?
Right.
I like that. I think that is cool.
I respect that. I respect that. All right, real quick, let's do top 3 receivers. Go ahead and start us off, Jeremiah. Real quick.
My guys I mentioned,
We got
yeah,
Cole, Kyle, and Chrissy are the top
Okay,
3
yeah,
for sure.
okay,
I like
okay.
yeah,
those guys.
What about you,
Yep.
Phillip?
yeah. I'd have to agree with that. Cole. Who's the guy they call Slim? He's nice too.
Slim is
Oh,
good.
Nathan. Yep.
Yeah, Nathan, man, that guy, dude. And the thing is I don't even think he like football's not even his main. Like he doesn't even like he plays football for just for the fun of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
he played volleyball
yeah,
and
yeah. I like
skate.
him. I like him. He's a good player. He's got hands. I mean, his drop. I bet you he drops one ball every probably 50 catches, maybe. You know,
Right,
he doesn't drop the ball much. And then
right.
obviously Cole, right, and all the ones Jeremiah mentioned, right. Those are all. I mean, good one. Those are good choices. But like I said, it your league, dude, just has. I mean, every team has a good quarterback, pretty much, and good receivers, man. Like, and then you got some more this year, like some players like play D1, you know, and they're great. I think you're. I played in a lot of leagues, like I said I've been playing for a long time, and this one for sure is the best competition, for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, let's go top three DBs.
Uh, like I said, I'm not really good with names either, but the guy from Most Hated, that safety, that guy
Oh,
covers so much
Anthony.
ground,
Yeah,
dude.
Anthony Stevens.
That dude reminds you of Sean Taylor. Remember when Sean Taylor you could look him off one way and then you go the other way and he'd still cover that ground. You know what I mean?
Oh
It's like,
yeah, ball
dang it,
hawk.
I don't. Yeah, him.
Ball
I like him. He's a good safety. Who else? The guy that played with you guys for
Oh,
uh
Seth.
what's his name? The
Is it
guy.
Seth
Where's
or
always
Allen?
Alan? I think it's
Allen.
Alan.
Hey, Allen's sneaky good.
He
Like
is,
a lot of
dude.
people
He's good,
sleep on
dude.
him, and he's a
Yeah. Is
baller
that the
on
one
both
that
sides
wears
of the ball, bro.
the cap, the boonie cap?
Yeah,
Yeah, him, dude.
yeah,
Bro,
he's
no matter what,
heart,
how much
heart.
no matter how many games I play, that dude always gets me. He always get a pick off of me every
Yeah,
single time.
yeah,
And
he's
then who
different.
else? Probably, and like I said, they're no particular order. They're just different and good in their own rights. And then I'd say probably who else that I know. Um, the Public Enemy, they got a good safety back
Oh
there.
yeah, Braden,
Yeah, yeah,
Braden
him.
Ross. Yeah, he's a
Yeah,
beast.
he's good, man. He covers ground good, and
Yeah,
and and the thing about him is he's strong. So like his hands are strong, and like
right,
you make contact with him, it looks like he's bodying you up and knocking you all over the place, but he's just solid.
right.
So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
yeah, he's a good safety. So
Any ones you want to throw in there, Jeremiah?
Um, I like both the ones from I like Malik too. So on top of his guys,
Oh
Malik,
yeah, yeah, Malik. Yeah, he's nice.
he's so lengthy, dude. Like he can reach all over. You know what I mean?
Right, right,
So like even when you're like you could think you're out of his zone, and he'll get there. Like he'll get a hand on it at least. You know what I mean?
right, right. Okay, okay. Um, let's see. I think we got to wrap up here soon. But before we kind of wrap things up, I did want to kind of ask, like, what is your thoughts on, when it comes to the league and like the community and like the impact? Because like we spoke earlier, um, it's really important to build a culture and to build a family, and where we can have our kids every weekend coming together.
yeah.
And I feel like we're really starting to build that culture. What is your thoughts on the impact that the league is making on the community?
I think it's good, man. Like I was telling you from the beginning, like there's a lot of homegrown athletes here that don't have a platform, either for the reason that they didn't get along with their coach, or maybe they didn't make the grades or whatever. And then you giving them a platform to kind of show their skills in some way. You know what I mean?
Right, right,
Um, um, like I've always been about family. Like I grew up that way. I treat everyone like I've known them for years. Like I'm real big on like hugging them and stuff like that. So Jeremiah's came up in that, and all the other boys I coach. So this feels like a family. Like when I played in city league, it didn't feel like a family. uh, I mean, my team was a family, but the actual culture was not a family. It's just like everyone coming to the game and wanting to relive their old high school highlights or whatever, and then like men just being men or whatever. But your
right.
league's different, man. It's different. Like you see guys with different colored jerseys on the side, just chopping it up and dabbing each other up, and no one thinks they're better than anybody else. I mean, you get your occasional talking back and forth, but that comes with the game. But at the end of
Right,
the day, like a good example is when you had that big old family barbecue. That was awesome, right? Like
right,
you saw Public Enemy sitting down with Doghouse, sitting down with the Kings or whatever. And then you got, Chaos sitting with, what I mean? It's cool seeing everyone all mixed up together, and no one at the end of the day, they know like everyone's, you put a family culture for them, and you giving them a platform to actually play some ball, and there's some good homegrown players here, man. Like you can see it. Like some of your guys that you see out there performing every week, they're all homegrown. Most of the guys are from homegrown here.
right. And we got some talent, man. We
Yeah,
got some real talent,
yeah,
and I'm blessed to be able to kind of witness all of this firsthand. Like seeing you guys play together, the father son
yeah,
duo. Every week you
yeah.
guys are killing it, and to see just these families coming together is like, for me, it's rewarding. Even though I haven't been playing, like I love being out there and
Mm.
just
And
being
I,
out there. Like
and I don't
it's
know how you and I don't know how you do it, man. It'd be too hard for me to run a league, and like knowing you could play ball and you love to play ball. That's hard to just go over there and hang out and not like and take yourself out of it. That's
Yeah,
tough to do.
it's hard, but I mean, it's more rewarding whenever we're going home at the end of the night and it was a successful night. There was no
Yeah.
fights.
Yeah.
Like, I can tell people were having a blast. It's so
Yeah.
rewarding, and
Well, you got dancing, like you got dancing refs, you got dancing players, you got,
right, you know,
you can see that culture, and you're kind of not really like you're not like a micromanager. That's not you, right?
right,
Like if we talked of like coaching, you're like a player's coach. Like you have coaches who are players coaches, and you have coaches who are like all strict by the book. And I
right,
think
right.
you're for sure like a player's GM. Like
That's what it
you're
is.
all about the players. You make it family oriented. You pretty much you're like let them lead, right? Like where do you want this direction? Where do you want this league to go, right? Like you
Right,
guys push it. I'm just the one that's I just have a title, but it belongs to everybody. That's kind of pretty much what I've gotten out of it.
right. I mean, and that's, hey, you nailed it. I mean, I want to provide a platform, that I'm a player myself, so I know like the power rankings, the highlights, the stats, anything that I can think of that I know that I would have liked as a player,
Yeah.
and it's feasible. Hey, we're gonna roll it out. Because I'm a player. I'm a player first. And so, like, hearing that feedback, that's amazing.
Well,
And
and it's cool to see, like, think about like some players, their parents went to all these games to never see their kid play, right?
right,
And in their mind, your kid's your best player on the team, right? Everyone knows their kid's the best player on the team. Doesn't really matter what team they're on. They're like, you're the best player. You should play more and all that. And it's cool to see like some of these players, their parents are coming out and watching
right,
the games, and like their grandmas and grandpas, they're taking time out of their day to come out and watch.
right.
Manny's grandma and grandpa, they don't miss a single game. They
That's
go,
awesome.
yeah. And I've seen other players. I think there's some players on the spiritual snipers.
Yeah,
I think the mom comes and watches them play and records, and they're not the only ones. Like I think Most Hated has some family that comes out, and it's cool to see because like no matter what age, whether you're 8 or you're 28, your mom, you're her number one player, obviously, and,
right,
and and it
right,
still shows, right? So I think that's cool to see, even at this late in the game, like that they get to go and see their kid play and cheer on their
right.
kid, and that's cool to see. I've never seen that anywhere else. So
Yeah, and one thing that I love is, like, you got grown men, that are looking forward to Saturday Night Lights,
yeah,
like, and who would have thought, like, some of them, many didn't never even played high school ball.
yeah,
Our league MVP, Slim,
yeah,
he never played high school ball, and he's out here on Saturday nights killing it against
yeah,
D1 players,
yeah.
like. But yeah, man. So that's huge, is the culture that we're trying to build. We're a little bit past time.
Okay.
Do you guys have any shout outs, any, players, friends, family that you guys want to give some shout outs real quick to?
Just team, give me some. That's
Ooh.
it. Team, give me some. My guys, that's my family right there.
Yeah. I'll shout out to all our guys, shout out to all the older guys that out there, like, all the older cats that, put in a 40-hour work week, a 13-hour day, and still make time to go out there and play ball, I like to keep it real for all the OGs, so shout out to them.
Absolutely. Well, cool. I truly appreciate you guys taking the time out your night. I mean, it is pretty late. You guys got some big games tomorrow. You got 2 or 3?
Two.
Okay. Yeah. Started 3-0, 100 points scored. You guys are killed it. A lot of people don't know this, but Phil OG got player of the week. He had 13 total touchdowns. So congratulations on that. I know you've been waiting on getting that player of the week.
It's like I told you, there's a lot more people who deserve it, but they're more deserving of it. But I mean, I appreciate it. It's cool, but
hey, you ball, you get the call.
Is that what it's called?
Hey, you ball, you get the call. I appreciate you guys. We'll see you tomorrow, and cool. You guys have a blessed night.
Yeah, you too, man. How's the baby? Good?
Yeah, she's doing amazing, man. So hopefully we'll have her out either this week or next week. So you guys will be able to take a little peek.
Yeah, tell Blanca we miss her out there.
I know. I'm trying to get her out there.
She's the one that keeps everyone straight. Make sure they pay their player fees and all that stuff. So.
Bro, hey, it's been a challenge, but we'll be back out there soon.
Cool. All right, man. See you later.
Cool. You guys have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.
You too, man. Have a good one.
I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer.